First thing to understand the place of the place, position, and posture. 3P. So the place should be comfortable enough so that your body is placed on that place. Then there should be a right position. Check, check especially the limbs. The way your limbs are placed should be comfortable. Should not create any kind of a stress. And the third is the posture. So also check the position. Cross-legged is much appreciated. Eyes are gently closed. You are not squeezing the eyes with the pressure. I don't see you. Perhaps you're, uh, I don't see you. So if I see you, it is better. Yes, yes, yes. So again, check the place, position, and the posture. So if you adjust and align, now you see that this is all about the passive practice where we are not doing anything, but we are shifting our mind from outside to inside. So normally we see that if you have practiced regularly, this passive practice has the same result as the active one. So in the second step, we shift our mind from outside to inside by being comfortable. So you look at mentally, you look at the neck joint, be there, feel sensation. Now you directly are feeling sensation, comfort, and steadiness. So this demands an extraordinary awareness and attention. Yes, it comes by practice, but I always like to give the practices which can result into the deeper experience as soon as possible. So we are in a passive, so looking at the neck joint mentally and being aware and feeling the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Moving the mind or looking or feeling the shoulder joints, being there, feeling the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. So you see now your mind moves from the outer experiences to inner. So I'm giving the passive practice because you like it. So liking should not make you fall into dizziness or sleep. Now being aware of the entire body from the top of the head to the toes, and we are looking you are looking the body the way I am looking at your body. The way I'm seeing your body, you also see your body as if you are outside. Your consciousness, your awareness is outside. That gives you a deeper experience of sensation, comfort, and steadiness. So this is the second step in the passive practice. And then we go to the third step. Is also the passive. So what is this passive? Being carefree. Now we look inside our head, and we are waiting for the thought to come and go. We are not carried away by any thought, feeling, sensation, noise from out surrounding, or anything, or the temperature. So you are just keep looking at any point in the space, and when you're looking at any point in the space and the thought comes, the mind says, no, let me pay attention. So again, you bring your mind back to the point in the space. At a point in the space. When the thought comes, you remember the point in the space. So this step is pretty tricky and takes a long time. But yes, our commitment can make us succeed. You remember the point and in the space and return your mind to that point. Instead of instead of running after the thought. So you are aware of those thoughts, whether good thought, bad thought, high thought, low thought. It's okay because we are not at all concerned with anyone. As you are driving, so you are aware of other cars in different lanes. You see the rear mirror, front mirror, but at the same time, you're not at all concerned. Same way, you are not at all concerned about any thought at this time. That is the success in the third step, which I say being carefree. Very good. So we have done the third step. So this has to be remembered and done regularly. Then only you get the result. And now we go for another step deeper. We raise our awareness. How we raise our awareness? That is again a passive step. We are not doing anything. What is that means? You look at the head and the neck. You look at the head and the neck. Mentally you look. Or can I say that you are moving the mind on the head and the neck in such a way as if mind is touching the skin of the head and the neck. Why I say so? Because you will experience some kind of tingling in the sometime tingling, sometime numbness, and recognize it and accept it. So I told you the main disadvantage is that the mind starts falling into dizziness or sleep. So we have to maintain our awareness. Now moving the mind on the right arm from the shoulder to the fingertips and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. So we have three experiences. Sensation increases, a kind of relaxation we feel, and a sense of stillness is maintained in the body. Why we maintain the stillness? It indicates that your mind is following the practice correctly. And another part is that when you experience the sensation, increased sensation in the stillness, it prevents the mind to go outside. Mind moves on the left arm from the shoulder to the fingertips and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Moving the mind on the entire rib cage, the upper middle portion of the body, from the shoulder down to the last rib in the front and the back, and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Moving the mind on the belly, in the front and the lower spine at the back, that region, and experience sensation, relaxation and stillness. Mind goes to the right leg. Now there is no movement, and that motionless state of the body helps to raise our awareness. So the entire right leg, from the right side of the waist to the toes, experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. The mind goes to the left leg, from the left side of the waist to the toes, and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Moving the mind on the entire body, from the top of the head to the toes, and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. So, in that state of the stillness, in that state of the stillness, your mind lives within. So, when the mind lives within, and then you have an auspicious mantra, it goes very deep. It changes your behavior, attitude, responses to the world outside. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. You may also say in your mind, Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Now we go for the meaning. The meaning is let everyone be happy. And now we will explore, we will reflect. Reflect means you keep on thinking in line with the mantra. So the mantra says, let everyone be happy. How it is possible? That is the question comes to your mind. And then your mind says that happiness is the essential nature of every living being, including the humans. No, but then why I'm not happy all the time? Because that hides by the impurities of the mind. Oh, and what are those impurities of the mind? My anxiety, my hesitation, my lack of awareness, and attachment, lot of stuff. Oh, that is, otherwise the happiness is the essential nature of everyone. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, we have said it. Sarve santu niramaya. I have given a very simple mantra, so where couple of the words are being repeated, so it's not a big deal, you cannot say that. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve santu niramaya. Now the meaning of this, let everyone be in the state of the well-being. What is the well-being? That well-being reflected by the consciousness inside. And that well-being enters into every cell of the body, and that is how and why we say, oh, I feel very good, relaxed at the physical level, and I'm calm at the mental. It is because of the well-being. So that is also the essential nature of every being. So it means, I am too far from the essential nature. That is why I suffer from lot of anxiety, hesitation, reaction, blame, complaint, game. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. And what is the meaning? Let everyone be blessed. Blessing and the grace should fall upon each and every one. Because of the impurities of the mind, distractions in the mind is not able to perceive that auspiciousness is always there. Blessing and the grace of the existence is always there with everyone. How can you say? So simple. Even we are in deep sleep and the breath continues to flow. We are not at all aware of our breath in the deep sleep. It is the blessing. We are aware of the breath during the day and still it is going. We are given the space outside to move, to do activities like this. There are millions of grace and the blessing always falls upon us at all the time. Oh, so I have to receive the grace and the blessing. I have to open to the grace and blessing. Why I have to open? To make my life happy, peaceful, creative. Now, the fourth one, ma kaschid dukha bhag bhave, ma kaschid dukha bhag bhave. What it means that let none suffer from misery in this world. But why I have to pray and feel like this? Not because of others. When I have this kind of a thought, I take my mind away from the negative thoughts of blame, complaint, reaction. There is another message hidden in this mantra. What is that message? What is that message hidden in the mantra? That let there be no one suffer from misery in this world. So another message that hidden in this mantra, that it purifies my mind. My thinking process, my thought process changes. It is very important. Second message, and the third message is the highly important. We don't realize it in our life. What is that message? My master used to say that I am responsible for my sorrow, suffering, peace, and happiness. No one else in the world. So, the peace and the happiness, I am responsible. Sorrow and the suffering, I am responsible. So, what do I want? Peace and happiness. So, why not I should say, let none suffer from it, including our enemies. Why? Because I have to change our mind. And then the last step now is the breath awareness. Just breath awareness, you start counting when the breath goes in. No change in breath at all because you told me you like passive practice. So when the breath goes in, count in one, breath comes out, count out one, in two. Go on counting the breath, my friend, so that you will see the mind continues to stay deeper within and it results into a deeper state of calmness, peace, and relaxation. Let us see if there are challenges we will discuss and we will see how to get rid of those challenges also. And continue counting the breath. Sometimes when I stop speaking, the mind also feels, what happened? And at other times, the mind is totally absorbed. It keeps on counting the breath and enjoys that state of the calmness and the peace. So you see the differences. In every time you practice, you have to note down those differences which will help you to deepen the practice and continue to move forward into this journey of Eastern wisdom aims at self-discovery. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We say Shanti means peace. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down and let us see, share your experiences. How do you feel? Yes. Where we did not do any active step includes the breathing and humming, etc. And both practices have their plus and the minuses. So let us again understand, the in Eastern wisdom we say it is known as the Mangalcharan, the Sanskrit word which means majority, not majority, but all our texts are in a Sanskrit language. Are you aware of the Sanskrit language? No. Can't read it. You can't read it. Sanskrit is the oldest language, and all the texts are written. So there they say Mangalcharan, which means Mangal means auspiciousness and Charan means behavior. So my behavior is full of auspiciousness. That is the way, I talk to people in a very healthy and smiling manner, not for the sake of getting more clients, but your habit, your behavior becomes like that. So even if you have to press someone hardly, so you choose your words. So you said killer headache, and I say killer practice. so, so Mangalacharan means that my behavior is guided by the auspiciousness. But the behavior is outside. What is behavior? My thought inside and the way what I speak outside and how I act. So my behavior is guided by the mental state, mental attitude inside. So normally we have a saying, what is inside will come outside. Even if you try to control it, it never stays. You are not able to control for a longer period. Huh? Say, if you have some reaction against a person, if you have a reaction against a person, so what happens? That reaction lives inside. So it is going to come outside. It has to manifest. So the Mangalacharan, it's okay. Yes. So what happens in Mangalacharan? So first I said it is behavior. My behavior means the way I think and the way I speak and act. That comes out. That is expressed outside. But but this behavior has its roots in a mental state and the mental attitude inside. Say you have a reaction against someone, and that is inside, and you are holding it. You are holding it. So that manifests in your face. in your expression of the eyes. But now see, even if the other person is the crazy person, why I'm burning inside? We never ask this. Let the person be crazy. Are you feeling sleepy? No. No. So you see that let the world go to hell, Let me check my attitude inside, the mental state. So if my mental state has a moment, that feeling of reaction, it is bound to manifest, and you are going to express in the form of anxiety, duality, and a conflict or a reaction, or in being an upset. Check it. If it is not true, you can ask the question. These are the absolute principles our masters have discovered for a period of 10,000 years. And see that when that mental attitude or the state where the mind is filled with the auspiciousness, you can read the thoughts of others. Sometimes I also read the thoughts. So should I say anything? No, I recognize it and I say. So you see that what happens if we don't have that state of auspiciousness in the mind, then what happens? First understand that it is very significant because it helps us to go deeper and live our positive life. It aligns your life with the inner state. It uplifts your mood. It uplifts your mood and reminds that all the potential we have. Otherwise, even I had yesterday I was giving lesson to this woman. She has been the doing her work in a particular for the last almost 40 years, and she was telling me this is too much. Now I'm I'm retired and still I need to do. I'm totally upset. I still have to do the same work. When you can do this activity that you have been doing for 40 years, it is only the mental attitude and the state that has changed. What you have been doing for 40 years, you can still do it. But it is the mental state and the attitude. And mental state and the attitude is governed by the thoughts. And if these thoughts are reactive, agitated, blaming, and complaining, you are not going to progress in your life. How long? Give me three benefits of you reacted to someone. Give me three benefits of the blame and complaint. So we have to argue with our own mind. The moment the mind enters into anxiety, okay, mind, first give me three benefits, and then I will react to this guy and girl. So that is how the mind has to change. Even in social life, we connect to the people with an idea of welfare, goodness, maybe in the community, in the environment. So our social life also becomes better. Social life also, family life becomes better. Otherwise, what happens, in a couple, small things, and we get agitated, we don't speak for a few hours, we have a big face, and then ultimately we realize this is not going to work, and then we start talking again. But those impressions continues to bury inside. What is the need of it? There is no need of it. So that is the power of this being auspiciousness. So when I invoke the auspiciousness in my life, I'm still talking of this auspiciousness because you told me that you keep on repeating these mantras. Yes, that is one of the best way to change my attitude inside. whether you are driving or you are in a kitchen or you are talking to anyone internally, you can have that sense of auspiciousness. Now let us go a little deeper. It reminds me when I start that thinking process, it reminds me that what exactly is the goal of my life. The goal of our life is to live in permanent peace and happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. And suddenly the mind says, nobody loves me. No, I have to love myself first. If there is no love inside me, the moment I say that nobody loves me, that love is an attachment. I will talk about it. There is a big difference between attachment and love. The moment your mind says nobody loves me, nobody cares me, it means you are talking of expectations. Your mind is full of expectation. It is demanding too much. And when it is demanding too much, your mind will always remain upset. You wake up in the morning, your mind remains upset until you retire to the bed. But if we are in the state of auspiciousness, we are repeating this mantra. I will be using other mantras also. So when you are repeating these mantras during the day, that becomes your natural practice. And that will help you to open up completely and release all the impurities of the mind. It also connects you to the nature outside. And the journey then will continue to the greater heights. Another part that is very important to understand this when I start changing my thought with these mantras, there are many mantras. There are 6 enemies of the human being, not outside, inside our mind. First enemy is the binding desire. No, our mind thinks that no, I should not have a desire at all. No, I feel hungry. That is also a desire. I go to the kitchen and eat the food. I go to the restroom. I feel like sleeping, so I sleep it. So these desires do not cause any problem. And then what is the difference between a normal desire for survival and a binding desire? Binding desire binds me. It attaches me. Another definition of the binding desire, any desire that is seeking peace, happiness, love from the others is a binding desire. Today my honey would love me, and the honey is already busy. So my expectations are destroyed. Then I get upset. This is a binding desire. So expecting love and care from our own relations is natural, but if it is attached with expectations, that causes the problem, conflict, rift in our relationship. What should I do? Spare and express your love and care to others, to everyone in the family. And you will see you will become the darling of the family. Don't teach me, I already know it, but I don't do it. So that is why I'm reminding you. I know you know it. Now, what happens, just pay attention in detail. The same desire becomes the mood swing, same desire becomes the anger, same desire becomes the agitation, same desire becomes the reaction, same desire becomes the blame and complaint. How come? One simple answer. Binding desire is not fulfilled. It causes anxiety, agitation, reaction, blame, complaint, mood swing in the mind. So now that binding desire has changed its shape and the shade and the color. And then what happens? Then we enter into a conflict. We don't recognize that it is because of the binding desire. My anger, my hesitation, my duality in a conflict, it is because of the desire has converted itself now into a mood swing, lot of expectation, blame, and complaint. So now my behavior has changed. I left being in the state of auspiciousness. I fall below, I fall low into my consciousness. Have you seen the animals? All the animals, they fight against each other because of the desire. So if I start in that mood, the desire becomes the anxiety, hesitation. My mind is behaving like an animal mind. Now see the opposite side. If the desire, binding desire, is fulfilled, you are learning Eastern wisdom. He is learning. Now, say for example, a couple, they have a binding desire. And there are people whose binding desire is a lot of lust is there, and sensuality is there, and drinking is there, a lot of other stuff. So their desire is getting fulfilled. Say for a couple always drinks together and they enjoy the movie, etc. So now it becomes a habit. It results into addiction. Repeat binding desire is known as the greed. And greed impairs your natural abilities of the body and the mind. I know you already have that experience, so I need not to say. So now that desire has become a repeat desire, which is known as the greed. So now what happens? Now the three factors. The first is the binding desire. Second is that if it is not fulfilled, my mind gets totally upset. Those impressions are accumulated inside, or sometime it is fulfilled. Then I have a repeat desire, feeling of the repeat desire. These impressions are also veils my mind from the peace and happiness. That binding desire becomes a delusion. I remain almost in a state of delusional. I wake up in the morning feeling upset and tired, talking to everyone in the family, frustration and sense of hesitation and tiredness is there. That is a moment of delusion. So now that desire has become a delusion. So we have desire, hesitation, repeat desire is the greed, and the fourth is the delusion. Now all the four creates a false personality. That is what is known as ego. No, I told you I did this thing and you did not follow me. I was waiting for you and you did not. Oh, a lot of stuff. You already heard it. You might have done sometime, I know. So that pride, that ego comes. And then that ego constantly clashes with the world outside. So sometimes that ego creates a hatred, at other time the ego creates a jealousy, third time the ego makes you very come out with a strong anger and hesitation. Uh, Sometimes this ego results into suicidal. So look at the way the mental attitude in the state inside is the impressions that are accumulated, they express themselves if we do not live in the state of As we come what may, whatever the problems that we have in our life, let me first put my mind into an auspicious. And then I start thinking. Then you start thinking why I explain all the six enemies of the mind, so that you can recognize which enemy is working now. If the sixth enemy is working now, it is damn difficult. We need a constant listening and learning from a teacher to and practice. Well, I recognize the binding desire. It strikes into the mind, and I throw it out. So now the rest five enemies do not take over my life. We should reach to that state. That will make life beautiful. You have a big house and still you can have a mood swing and reaction. So the big house does not bring the happiness. You are judged as a Miss Universe and still your mood can swing. It is because of these six enemies. You have everything of the world, and still, if the state of the mind is guided and dictated by the past impressions, jealousy, hatred, pride, we are not living a happy life. Your mind is always full of that blame and complaint and hatred, and you have the best food available in a plate in front of you. You don't feel like eating. It's a normal examples we experience almost every day in one way or the other. We need to change this. So what happens, now you think in another way when you keep on practicing and thinking and contemplating, it reduces our ego and the idea of the selfish. Selfishness breeds hatred and jealousy. Then what? Then it cultivates the humility and the reverence. I know you are humble, but still my attitude, I should remember the attitude and remain, think and speak and act out of the humility. Even with Isabella, your small daughter, with everyone. I should check constantly the attitude in the mind and what is my expression outside to see if I am progressing or not. It instills it instills the gratitude and a sense of contentment in the mind. Sometimes my students say, "No, that is all." I go, "Thank you," and then they return again after a few months. So I simply say, "Thank you." That is all. Instills gratitude and a sense of contentment. It calms the mind and the emotion. There is an emotional poise in our life. That is the biggest treasure we can have in our life. Why? If there is an emotional poise, in spite of the difficulties, problems, and challenges, we can easily face. And you can prevent many, many illnesses of the body also. Auspiciousness aligns you with the higher consciousness. It invokes grace and the guidance from inside. You start getting the guidance from inside. You don't remain judgmental. So, opposite of judgmental, there is a word we say discernment. You discern. That quality enters into the mind by constantly doing this auspiciousness. What is the discernment? Judgmental means that you like someone and then you have a liking that gives you the pleasure. You have a disliking. So you are moving like you are swinging like a pendulum. Someday you like the activity of Isabella and other day you don't like. So the mind is moving in attachment and detachment, so it has a reaction and response. But in discernment, our intellect is watching both likes and dislikes and still not attached. It looks at a distance. So your mind is not disturbed. We'll talk about that discernment in detail. The last point, I believe you are not feeling bored. Feeling bored? Yeah. You feeling bored? Oh, no. Okay. I said, yeah. So the entire, you can underline the purpose of this being auspiciousness. It purifies the mind. It uplifts the mood. It invokes the divine grace and the blessing. It creates a positive energy. It reduces the obstacles and negativity. It brings down the swinging nature of the mind. And it creates from inner state, inner mind, you are respectful to everyone, even if the other is not. Sometimes we are respectful because of the fear, and sometimes we are respectful because of our ego. So both is not there. The natural state of respectfulness is there. So you respect each and every one. Think of this and do the practice.